TWAB this week, Twid 11/14/2024. Act 2 livestream recap. Check the new artifact perks, Act 2 sandbox preview, an update for the PvP strike team, our spooky pumpkin fashion winners. Check out a Street Fighter collab. Act 2 Revenant starts November 19th. If you guys missed the live stream, go check out my video. I actually go over it. Pretty cool stuff coming in. Destiny 2 Revenant, Prison of Elders. We got some new artifact perks that are coming. You guys can pause it if you need to. So we got really good arc compounding. If you're using a blinding build, that would work good with my my Sonic the Hedgehog build, actually. Hypersonic build. Many changes coming very soon in Destiny 2 as next Tuesday. Getting hiccups. Next Tuesday when both Act 2 and our update 8.1.5. We have some nerfs to the outliers like Storm's Edge, some buffs to roaming supers as... Oh, wow, they're going to nerf Storm's Edge. I'm going to have to go back to Arc Strider. Howdy, y'all. Abilities team here. We wanted to take a moment to discuss the major change we're bringing to Act 2. Expect changes with these supers, Arc Staff, Golden Guns, includes classified one-off super, Spectral Blade, Soul Strike. They're going to make it do 55% more damage, and you're going to get more super energy, like ×4 or ×3 more. So Nova Warp, Winter's Wrath, Storm Trance, Glacial Quake, Blade Fury, Sentinel Shield, Hammer of Soul, Burning Maul, Fist of Havoc, Silk Strike, Spectral Blades, Golden Gun, and Arc Staff. Electrifying exotic armor updates, guys. Amplified lightning bolts now do 100% increased damage over base, up to 50%. Lightning strike, Raiden Flux. Ooh, Raiden Flux, guys, this is big. Point contact brace, if you guys are into that. Raiden Flux, this is one of my favorite exotics. It is our goal that two Arc Staff exotics, Blight Ranger and Raiden Flux, have distinct identities. Blight Rangers is rooted in defense. We want Raiden Flux to be all about offense. However, we felt it could benefit from a little bit more punch, especially in harder activities. Synapse Junction super damage benefit increased 20% per stack up to 14% per stack. Max benefit now it's a 70% increase up from 50%. Dang, Raiden Flux about to be crazy in PvE, huh? Bolodor, Swath Reavers, you guys can read through that. I'm not really a Titan, so all the Titans pause it if you need to. Fixing Telesto. This gun's not fixed yet. Short update, the weapons team. Most of our weapon focus updates, PvP, blah, blah, blah. PvP strike team update. Breach grenade launchers, Telesto. 8.1.5 will correct the issue with Telesto not dealing the appropriate amount of blast damage against players in Crucible. And we thought while we were in the we might as well give it extra PvE too. 20% PvE update. We're going to get some new maps. Come on, PvP strike team update. It's about time. Hello, PvP strike team with a quick update on things that stand in Revenant. First, let's talk about the Crucible sandbox. When we look at the high skill primary weapon meta last week, we can see that the Rose, LC rifles, Graviton Lance, Bygones have distanced themselves from the rest of the pack. Bygones alone is I don't know that word, out of the ban, thanks almost to entirely high ground perk, which we will be taking a first swing at addressing below. We will continue to keep an eye on the top performers, but the current thought is that most of these weapons are very close to the upper end, and we want primary weapons to be able to do their current roles. We're more interested in bringing out the options up to meet them than hammering these options down by more than small amounts. The meta has moved away from closer range engagements to, we believe, the consolidation around these specific weapons is due to large a combination of two things. Difficulty engaging in the medium to close range combat windows with the current level ability uptime, stemming largely from our prismatic subclasses, the lack of competition among our medium long range primary options outside of pulse rifles. We're buffing some options engagement range as well, reducing the amount of ability usage able to generate by prismatic subclasses. Let's get it, baby. Prismatic has become a clear prismatic allowed common torics and problematic for the Crucible in a way that we cannot easily solve with spot tuning. While we want to keep the power fantasy for PvE and PvP, the dominance is concerning and needs to be more labor-intensive fix we can provide inside the mid-season patch. As such, we've made a decision to give all prismatic subclasses blanket 15% additional ability cooldown penalty inside of Crucible, which should help to offset the current keen making strength of the subclasses and provide some reasons to run the base abilities on standard subclasses. This penalty stacks on top of the current overall PvP ability cooldown penalty of 15%. Storm's Edge. Alright, here's the big nerf, guys. Even with the cooldown increase, Storm's Edge still feels like it's too much of a win button with a little to no counterplay, even for a super, as such as we reduce the damage resistance during the cast and reduce the height of the damage impulse so that it will be easier to fight back against while still retaining its upfront strength. Reduced height of damage impulse from 5 meters to 3.75 meters. Reduced the damage resistance against players from 53% to 45%, both on cast and during the spin attack. Move from tier 3 to tier 1 super cooldown. Dang. Nerfed. Alright. Knucklehead Radar. The exotic abilities to provide an information to PvP players without requiring them to engage in combat is giving that information for as long as it does has contributed to a bit too much strength of the other long meta options. Change to the activated perk now requires where to damage the player to mark the target. Nice. Target is marked for 3 seconds, down from 7 seconds. Bye-bye, Knucklehead Radar pussies. No, just joking. Bows. We made changes to weapons, sandbox, and generally make primary weapons less forgiving. Bows were one of the first large outliers that tuned down. We will hit them hard and have been gradually walking them back in place, and it feels like they can compete in the right hands without being oppressive. Precision bows increase body shot damage by 10%. This change does not affect Lee Monarch. Thank God. Hand cannons. We have been hesitant to allow aggressive hand cannons to kill in 2 crits in one body shot natively in PvP, while Igneous Hammer remain one of the most effective weapons, but in addition, new mods on weapons can be enhanced to serve the narrow stat gap between it and other, like criminals and something new. In addition, we now have more options than just high-impact pulse rifles that are usable at 35 to 40 meters range and engagement, so it makes sense to bring the 120 sub-hand cannon. This has been paired alongside with a minor stat nerf to Igneous to prevent it from immediately becoming top dog again. We will continue to evaluate its place in the meta after these changes. Aggressive hand cannons increase damage by 3%. This allows them to kill all resilience levels from 2C, 1B. Igneous Hammer reduced ability handling and aim assist stats by 3. Rip. Better Devils is a classic weapon with a host of interesting perk combinations, but the lower base stats have left it out in the cold even with the new mod additions. We decide to weakquisitions Igneous Hammer stats over the Better Devils, taking from a weapon that has excess to giving them to really needs them. Increased ability handling aim assist stats by 3. Yesterday, Question has been benefiting from the aim assist buff provided by Headseeker, but not the damage increase we have corrected in the issue. We can witness the firepower of fully armed operational hand cannons. Correct an issue with where Headseeker was not appropriately increasing critical hit damage after dealing body shot damage. Machine guns, adaptive machine guns, heavy weapon meta for much the last episode. Magazine from 51 to 59 between. I think it's getting nerfed. You guys can read that. I do like machine guns, but I don't use them too much, only in PvE. Alright, High Ground. All told, High Ground offers too much to damage triggered to low barrier. For now, we have reduced the stacks that are given to dealing damage with the primary weapon significantly against players down from 1 from 3. This should make the damage boost significantly less powerful in PvP and will leave efficiently alone in PvE. If this change is not enough, we will address it again in the future. Crazy. Dealing damage to a player and primary weapon now grants a single stack of the damage buff. Dealing damage with this special weapon or against combatants continues to grant maximum stacks. Explosive payload was nerfed when we originally made into the light sandbox changes, but the nerf was heavy-handed and overly punishing on the great many weapons types. So they're gonna reduce splash damage from the perk when used on legendary hand cannons by 7% against players only. Telesto, Ariana's Vow. As you might expect, Telesto, a lot of custom tuning going under the hood, and we did all up fusion rifle tuning for Revenant. It was unfortunately missed in the Kerfuffle, corrected the issue where Telesto was doing less damage than a 10 in PvP. Ariana's Vow is another one-off weapon type that had its intrinsic damage buff incidentally removed with the update. Fixed critical damage bug in PvP. Thorn and Lumina. These weapons have felt a bit power crept in PvP by the addition of the new mod system, so we wanted to at least partially bridge the stat gap. Increase base stability by 5. Let's go. Lobby balancing. Since 8.1.0, we've been running a variant of the Snake Draft lobby balancing in our 6v6 quick play playlist called Paired Player. Alongside this, what else? Alongside this, we continued running the standard random lobby balancer in trials. And previously discussed lobby rank average balancer competitive, we ironed out some additional issues Paired Player that presented themselves with this mode, which provide a real-time comparisons. The Paired Player system is 6s has resulted in improved performance compared to both previous iterations and other. Basically, guys, what does this mean? Stop texting me. And the control, for example, compared to the Echo's games hit Mercy score with threshold have decreased by 10%, while closely matches games were difficult and accurately predict the winner. Oh my god. Sorry about that, guys. We decreased to 10%, while closely contested matches games were difficult to accurately predict the winner before the match starts. Also increased 7.5%. This is just some weird stuff that I don't know what they're doing with Crucible. As you can see from above, showing the control, we've been in steady improvements in decreasing our prediction accuracy, which is indicator that matches becoming more even over time, reducing it from an average of 68.5 to 67%. You guys can see, you guys can pause it if you need to. Trials, on the other hand, which we have used with a random lobby balancing as our baseline, has only around 33% of the games where neither team has more than a 70% chance of winning, with nearly an equivalent chance of 31% for one team to have a greater than 90% chance of winning. Our pre-match predictions are correct more than 80% of the time. While Paired Player still underperforms pure average skill lobby balancing, making teams close to skilled, blah, blah, blah. Guys, this is just like a lot. You guys can pause it if you need to. They're just going to be tuning the Crucible, seeing what works the best, seeing what works the worst. A lot of talking without really talking. Mercy rolls are going to be changed. So it looks like this has brought down the number of games hitting the 18% threshold, with the number of ending mercies reduced to 13%. That's good, I guess. All right, that's it for this. Back to the Future. Finally, we're done with this drop. It was a long one, guys. We got some Halloween stuff. Street Fighter, Destiny 2 collaboration. I did a video on that. Go check it out. It has a lot of views already. Artist of the Week. Shout out to them. And yeah, guys, thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. And but before we leave, we would like to check out this crazy video of a group of old school guardians working together to get every single exotic from Destiny 1. Oh. All right, guys. Have a good one. Peace.